Good morning and welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us for this, webinar discussion, if you like, in the world of precious metals. We're very fortunate to be joined by two young leading lights in the sector from very different areas. In the one corner, we have Alessandro Soldati, CEO of Gold Avenue, a physical business, and in the other, we have Claude Desmonet, head of DLT projects for MKS Switzerland on the DGLD. These businesses are seemingly unrelated, but perhaps not. We'll come to that point in just a minute. But let's go through them individually and start with you, Alessandro. Gold Avenue, what is it and how does it work?
Hi Ross, so Gold Avenue is the official retailer of the MKS PAM Group. So we are a classic reseller of precious metals. We sell bars, minted ingots, coins, legal tenders in different precious metals, so gold, platinum, silver, and palladium. And we offer both storage solution and we deliver directly to our customer. So a very classic gold business.
But you're primarily an online business rather than a physical location. Clients log onto your platform and then buy gold or silver.
Exactly. We don't have a physical location. We only treat with our customer in a digital way, and then they can redeem physically the product, but we don't have a physical office.
Excellent. Okay. And so the items you sell are all the precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Talk me through the process if I wanted to buy, let's say, £10,000 worth of gold. What do I need to do? What do I need to provide you with?
Yeah, it's very easy. You have to connect to our platform, goldavenue.com, and then you have to open a profile. Depending the amount you want to buy, we are a regulated company, so you will have to proceed with a due diligence that is fully automated and digitally. So you have to take a picture of your passport, a picture of yourself, provide a utility bill, and some personal information regarding the origin of funds, and then you can select the product you want to buy. So you have a wide range, more or less 200 products. Most of them are PAM products, so the refinery of the group. And then you can decide to store the products directly on the vaults of the refinery, fully insured and free up to 10 kilos of each metal. Or you can ask for the physically redemption, so we will deliver the products directly to you.
Excellent. Well, Alessandro, I didn't share this with you before we started this interview, but I did go on to your site last night to look at your premiums. And I was quite impressed, actually, because for a kilo bar, you're charging about 1.5% over spot, which is probably in line with most European premiums. I can tell you here in the UK, the largest seller of physical gold online is currently charging over 8%, and the number two is close to 6%. You know, your pricing is competitive, and I think my hat off to you for that. It's the way to be.
I'm quite impressed that they are charging 8%, and maybe we have to push a little bit more on UK. So probably I will add in the business strategy for the next months, because when you told me that they charge 8% for us, we cannot even imagine that to charge 8% on a cash bar of 1 kilo.
I was also impressed, by the way, that I know it's simple technology, that when I went onto your site, it recognized from my IP address I was in the UK. Everything was priced in sterling, and everything was UK centric to make my life a bit easier. So the reality is, in this day and age, it doesn't matter. I guess you're in Geneva today. It doesn't matter where you're located. You can trade with anybody anywhere now. And on coins, by the way, I can see that your premium on Britannia's were just over 4%. And the biggest seller of Britannia's in the UK, just to give you a comparative there, is currently charging about 6.5%. So on a price basis, you're certainly very competitive. I guess you guys must be doing some good volumes of business at this stage, are you?
Exactly, but we aim to the volume. We will look for the volume, not for the small transaction. We know that there is a lot of competition on the market. There is a lot of other websites doing the same thing we are doing. So we try to have a very user-friendly website. As you said, when you arrive on the website, we can recognize you, provide you the right information, the right currency to avoid you making any mistake fixing the price, because it's very expensive when you fix the price in the wrong currency. And again, we try to be aggressive on the margin. And since we started 2 years ago, the activity, we are quite satisfied with the results we are reaching right now.
Excellent. And okay, let's talk now. So if I go online to your platform, I buy some gold, I've done the due diligence and the paperwork, and I've decided to take delivery. It's as simple as that, is it? And then you can effect either delivery, or you can hold the gold, if I choose, in your vault in Geneva or Zurich.
The vaults are in the refinery, so in the Italian port of Switzerland, so in Ticino, where we have all the product of the group. So for the moment, everything is stored there and everything is insured. So you only have to choose the storage solution, and then up to 10 kilos. So we are speaking of 10 kilos of gold that are worth today is more or less $600,000. You can store for free and redeem whenever you want. So you can start storing the products, and tomorrow you wake up and you decide to claim 1 ingot of gold, you can just click on the button and we will deliver it directly to UK.
Great. And finally, Alessandro, let's talk about payment methods. So typically you take credit cards, I guess.
Yes.
Wire transfers.
Exactly. So today we accept 4 currency, and with DGLD it is a 5th currency that we will accept on Gold Avenue, because we consider DGLD as any other currency. So if you want to pay with dollar or with DGLD, the process is exactly the same. You just have to choose which currency you want to pay with. Sadly, we cannot recognize you on with the IP that you want to pay with DGLD, because there is not a DGLD country for the moment. And you can decide to pay the smaller transaction. We advise the customer to pay the smaller transaction with the credit card, because there is charges that are added to the transaction. So normally the transaction that are between 5,000 and more, people decide to pay with wire transfer directly from the bank. And we don't accept cash for a simple reason. We have not a physical location, so we cannot accept cash. And we want to, even from a compliance point of view, is easier to accept payment coming from a bank.
Well, I think you're wise not to accept cash. I can tell you from a UK perspective, the tax authorities, that's the only thing they focus on, is how much cash you take and what due diligence you apply. Almost no interest in other areas of the business, just cash. But more importantly, Alessandro, you introduced the idea of paying by DGLD. So what is DGLD? That takes us straight across to Chloe. Talk us through the project, and when did it launch? How does it work? And then perhaps you can touch on costs as well.
Sure. So DGLD is a digital asset that represents ownership of physical gold. Gold is stored in our accredited Swiss vault, and it is tokenized and distributed, and we're using a Bitcoin sidechain in order to do that. We've launched DGLD in October last year, so it's just 1 year old, and we've tokenized about 1/2 ton of gold so far. It's like shy of $30 million at the current price, the project has been live for almost 3 years now, because prior to launch there was a lot of technical work, but there was also a lot of regulatory work, because we wanted it to be compliant with the Swiss regulation, and make sure that we had everything nailed down in terms of AML and KYC, and everything surrounded DGLD.
So talk me through, let's again assume I have 50,000 sterling, I want to invest in DGLD. Where do I go to buy it, and how do I go about doing that?
Sure. So you can transact and purchase DGLD in 3 different ways. So either peer-to-peer from somebody who has DGLD, or OTC, or on a crypto exchange. So at the moment, DGLD is listed on blockchain exchange, and it has 2 live pairs, one against Bitcoin and once against US dollars. So say if you wanted to buy on a blockchain exchange, you go there, you do the ID check with the level of account that you need. For example, for 10,000, you'll need to take a picture of yourself with an ID and provide some personal data, and then then you will wire your money onto that account, and then you'll go on the platform and purchase those DGLD. And then you can.
It's much
Yeah.
the same as Alessandro for buying gold. It's the same due diligence process, no different.
Exactly. The interesting thing is you can also take them off of exchange in your personal DGLD wallet. So once again, there you'll need to download a DGLD wallet, do an ID check that is fully automated. So it takes 5 minutes on your phone. Again, take a picture of yourself, take a picture of an ID, that sort of things. And then once it's validated, you're self-custodying your DGLD on your phone or on your computers. And then if you want, you can go and pay for small bars and coin on Gold Avenue using these as a currency.
So these tokens are mirroring exactly the spot price for gold as they're issued in terms of the price and the value that they hold? Correct.
So one DGLD is just shy of 1/10 of an ounce, so about 3 grams. So currently, I think it'd be $188 at the current price this morning. Yes, so it's a ratio, weight ratio, but it's exactly tracking the spot price of gold.
Okay, and the important thing here again is this token is backed by allocated physical gold, again, vaulted at the refinery.
Correct. It's even better than backed by gold because it's not, the token doesn't give you a claim to a pool of asset. The token gives you the legal ownership of a portion of a large bar that is stored with us, which means that if we disappear, even if the vault goes into an issue, you can get your gold back because you're the legal owner of that piece of metal.
So there's no counterparty risk at all
No.
in the chain. Excellent. Okay. So if I owned DGLD tokens, and this is coming to the point, and I feel unsure about the world, and I want to take physical, how do I convert that into, let's say, 10 Britannias? Talk me through that process and the cost as well, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. So just there's 2 costs associated with DGLD. There is an admin fee that works through an inflation mechanism, and that's running at 100 basis points per year, and that's to cover sort of the technical infrastructure that is behind the token, the blockchain, all of this, and then there is a transaction fee. The transaction fee is extremely small. Initially, we didn't want to have a transaction fee, but we have to have one in order to prevent denial of service attacks, which is when a bad user tried to overwhelm your network by generating a lot of fake transaction. So we're putting a very small price on each transaction to make it expensive for people to do this. So that transaction cost is 0.0005 DGLD per transaction. It's as small as it can get. And so there's those 2 costs. So imagine you have a number of DGLD in your wallet. You want to purchase Britannia coins on or Pempar on Gold Avenue. You go on the Gold Avenue website, you're going to select the products that you want to buy, and then on the checkout, you're going to select the currency that you want to pay in. So it can be CHF, can be US dollars, or it can be DGLD. And that point, you're going to click DGLD. Gold Avenue, we're going to do a cross identity check. So we're just going to verify exactly the same way that if you were paying by credit card, Alessandro is going to verify that the data that he has on you is matching the data that we DGLD have on you, and that those are correct. And then at that point, you're going to send from your DGLD wallet, you're going to send the relevant amount of DGLD up to Alessandro, and then he's going to confirm the transaction. And then depending whether you choose to, yeah.
Find a bit there. Let's suppose you've got a wallet with 1,000 tokens in there. But I only want to spend 20 of those to pay some coins. What is the messaging I get to pay that? How do I actually identify precisely how many tokens to give to you to enable Alessandro to release those coins?
Yes. So the price that you need to pay is going to be shown exactly in DGLD. Alessandro, maybe you want to.
Yeah, exactly. You will see the price that you have to pay in DGLD. Then for sure we will have the premium and margin on the product that Gold Avenue sell that you will have to add as a payment. So you can not only transfer 1 ounce for 1 ounce of physical product, because the 1 ounce of physical product need to be produced. So there is a premium of production and the margin of Gold Avenue. So for us, as I said before, DGLD is like any other currency. So you will not have a discount on the Gold Avenue products, but you will be able to redeem the physical ingot directly with us through the DGLD token.
The key point is you're allowing any costs that you talked about, Chloe, on your side to be accounted for, and Alessandro, you're allowing for any premiums for coins to be again accounted for. If I want to buy 10 Britannias, it'll be X number of tokens. So to me, it'll be very clear and transparent.
Yeah.
But it's just a translation. I don't need to work it out for myself, which is valuable. Great. And then having done so, the method for releasing those tokens to you, Alessandro, presumably those tokens are destroyed as you release the gold. Is that what happens?
Not really, if I understand well. We receive the token and then we transfer the token to our group that they will pay us with the US dollar. At the end of the day, we fix the transaction with US dollar, and then we convert the US dollar in gold token, and we know exactly how many gold token you need to pay us. And then we give back the DGLD back to Chloe, imagine, and then they resell it on the market. So maybe Chloe can explain better how it works from their point.
Sure. I mean, in this case, if you want, for Alessandro, it's a little bit like a quality swap. If you want, he receives digital gold and he gives out physical gold, but he's not going to destroy the digital gold. What he does with it, he's going to exchange it against dollar, against something else, with a hedge counterparty. You can redeem DGLD, which means that you can destroy tokens and remove the physical that's corresponding to those tokens, but that's more of an institutional transaction, if you like, because our underlying physical gold for the DGLD is only 400 ounce large bar. So these are large amounts of gold, and most retail users are never going to have that kind of gold on their hand.
Okay, here we're talking about going from buying tokens or owning tokens and buying bars or coins. Is it possible to go the other way just yet, or is this work in progress?
It's work in progress. There's quite a few sort of legal questions that are involved, but it's certainly something that eventually on Gold Avenue should be able to purchase DGLD as well. And I just wanted to, I guess, pinpoint the fact that originally when we create DGLD, that's what we're doing. So first we're buying large bars, we put them in a vault, and then we digitize them. So originally that's what we're doing. We're going from physical to digital.
We would like to sell DGLD as another option to physical gold, for example. So a customer arrives on Gold Avenue and can decide to buy digital gold or physical gold. But as Chloe said before, is not really makes sense to go from the physical gold to DGLD, because DGLD is already a physical gold.
Excellent. Well, what this is doing, this bridge, if you like, between your respective businesses, is allowing investors who have physical to, DGLD or currencies, to redeem it for physical. And I think that for a lot of people who buy gold, it's a lack of trust in official institutions or the counterparty risk involved in the process, which gives them some concern. And knowing that there's a bridge there between the two asset classes, even if they don't cross it, is quite encouraging for them to know that it's possible, even if they don't take it, as I say. Excellent. I've got one or two questions that have come up while we've been on air. One here says, what are the recommendations people should follow when buying physical gold or digital gold? I guess that's a question for both of you.
Yeah, for an e-commerce website, it's important to buy gold from a reputed sellers, regulated and certified, and be sure to buy LBMA certified gold We had some not customer, but some people calling us because they bought gold on other platform that were not reputed, and then they end up discovering that the gold was not pure, or not real. So it's really important to check on for example, the Trustpilot, the reviews on the website, inform themselves, call the company, be sure that the company is well registered, and before to proceed with the purchase.
Yeah.
Exactly. Excellent. And Chloe?
From a, I guess, a digital perspective, I think you know, any user should start by doing some research. There is a significant number of gold tokens that are either live or about to go live. There's only a very few that are solid, transparent, that are audited, that have LBMA gold as an underlying, that are done by professionals, but that people who have been active for a long time in the gold market, who know what they're doing with the logistics of gold. And so I think definitely, like, do some research. And I think also it's important to you know, be aware of the exit route. So this is what we addressed with this, is that, you know, once you're into digital gold, what happens if you want to get out? How do you swap out? Can you exit for US dollars? Can you exit for Bitcoin? Can you exit for physical gold? You have to be comfortable with what happens when you want to get out of the product that you've purchased. And then I think in general, and that's more for, you know, anytime when you want to buy gold, you need to make sure that you're comfortable with the volatility of the asset that you're purchasing. And gold, we've seen this year, has been, you know, on the rise. It's great, but it's also been extremely volatile, and people have just to be comfortable having that in their portfolio.
Excellent news, lovely. And there's another question I have here. Some say that digital gold is setting a new standard. Any thoughts? Is it a new standard?
I mean, I think it's a very traditional asset, very traditional commodity that, you know, with digital gold, we're just allowing people to transact, to utilize gold in a modern way. And I think we're not reinventing the wheel. It's still gold, and the underlying is still very important for us, which, you know, which is one of the reasons that we've done this bridge to physical gold. But the digital format is great, because now I'm the legal owner of physical gold, and my physical gold is there.
Well, I think it's a great innovation, the digital side. I'm disappointed it hasn't moved faster, if I'm honest with you, and perhaps it's mainly because it's an older generation that has typically bought gold, and maybe they're less tech savvy. But certainly the efficiencies attached to it, and the immutable certainty that you've got metal behind it, and the accountability. I mean, there are dozens of different reasons why digital gold, knowing that it is backed by gold, or it is gold, should make sense. Perhaps we're just taking time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that I want to, I guess, note, and you're right, it's the adoption is quite slow. I think one of the reason is first, the, you know, blockchain technology is something that people, you know, take some time to get used to manipulate. You know, once you've done it a few times, it's very natural. It's not more complicated than paying through a credit card or something like this. Once you have like a wallet you're comfortable with, it's, you know, it's just like anything else, you get used to it. But it's been quite slow. I think one of the things that we're going to see is, you know, once we get some institutional engagement, so far they've been quite cautious, but I think something that we're going to see happen more and more. This is something that is there to stay.
I mean, it's a personal view only, but I do think that when gold is digitized throughout the supply chain, not only from the mines, but also into the professional market, but also when the professional market starts to settle and clear gold on the blockchain, then you arguably, gold is digitized throughout the process, throughout the value chain. And I think that that moment in time, you could see an acceleration of institutional buying in this space in exactly the way that they adopted the ETF. Chloe, I've got another question for you, if you wouldn't mind. Someone just simply asking, can you confirm the fees of the DGLD again?
Sure. So there's two things. There's an admin fee that's 100 basis points per year. And it's going through an inflation mechanism, which means that there's at no point as a user do you have to like pay or write a check. It's just the amount of physical gold that is represented by your token is going to erode slightly. So it's through an inflation mechanism. So that's 100 basis points per year. And then there's a transaction fee that's 0.0005 DGLD per transaction.
Excellent
I can't
stuff.
hear
Okay.
you.
Well,
Okay.
I think we should wrap it up there. Okay. I think I've got a bit of a flaky connection here in the UK this morning.
Yeah.
Chloe, to thank you very much indeed, and Alessandro, for your insight. I think it's fantastic that businesses like yours are innovating in what is a traditional sector. And having innovated myself in this, I know you've got to applaud people that do take a chance and look at new ways of doing old things, particularly with a younger group of people getting more interested in gold as time progresses. For you listening, let me thank you for your time this morning, for joining us. I can confirm that you will receive an email with a copy of this interview directly to your inbox, I'm assured, by Alex. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you, Chloe, and have a great morning.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.